Looking for another future UFC fighter to jump on early and say, hey, I knew he was going to be big before you did, but this might be the guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your main event.
Live from HBF Stadium Festival Hall. Melbourne Pavilion.
Not even backstage, we're literally outside. Was that the best fight card in Australian MMA history?
Call me crazy, but make sure you call me when I'm right.
Be good if the Aussie MMA Instagram page would give us a bit of glow up because we're killing
Welcome to the Australian MMA podcast. My name is Mitch Chinley, and today's guest is a big, strong Greek boy, Artemios Trepca. Now, he trains out of Mat Masters in Melbourne, and he's competing Hex Fight Series 33 in his second pro fight. Look, I don't care much for his opponent. I don't. But he's going to be an absolute superstar. If you go back through his amateur career, the guys he has beat, Dylan Lahari, who's a stud we've had on the show before, Jesse Ukic, he's over in Western Australia, absolute amazing fighter as well. Stephen Wong, number one training partner for Quillan Salkeld, who's in the UFC. Just an amazing sort of resume of guys in the amateurs. And he's now in his professional career, and he's putting a few fights away before we see him sort of challenge some super tough guys. Now, I am all but honest on this show. Anything can happen in the mixed martial arts cage, but I would give my opinion and say that I think Trepca is going to run through his opponent. No disrespect. But look, Trepca he's a nice, humble, hard-working guy. He rolled through the amateurs in less than 2 years. He talks about his first fight in Darwin in the Northern Territory, which ironically, where I grew up, and just kind of how it was growing up with a single mother who raised 3 kids by herself, dealing with his relationship with his dad, getting a job at 14 to try and support the family. He's a very interesting guy. He's got a very, very long career. So, we're going to hear from our friends at Vex, and on the other side, Artemios Trepca.
PRP Global and Vex have joined forces, so keep an eye out. Launching mid-November, they've got a new Vex website and new MMA fightwear range releasing shortly. Vex, designed for combat and worn by the best in Australia.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show for the very first time, Artemios Trepca. Welcome, mate.
Welcome. Nice to be here. Thank you for having me, Mitch.
It's good to have my first real strong Greek boy on the show. Nah, that was a shot at George Mangos.
Yeah.
I'll kick that off right away. You guys are both really, really sort of proud of the old Greek heritage. Do you immediately get attracted to sort of a guy like George Mangos and go like, oh, like, we're Greek boys, let's go together?
Man, it's always good to see a fellow Greek, fighting on the same card. Even in the amateur days, when I was starting my amateur days, he was fighting for the titles and stuff. So it's always good to see another Greek doing good,
Yeah.
And especially in the back, we resemble same energy, pride and go in for war. So it's good.
Do a little Zorba before you go out,
we join hands, we dance. Nah. I can't dance. I'm not sure if he can dance, but I can't dance.
I grew up in Darwin, and in high school, for some reason, I don't know why, there was like this little like Greek club at school, and I always used to join it just for lols. And literally, like the amount of like random Greek culture I learned in Darwin, we had the Greek Glenti, and it was the best food. Like it was like the best time of year. Everyone loved it. So I got a little special place in my heart for the Greek.
Oh, man, good memories, man. The Greeks can dance, they can cook, and they can have a good time as well.
Well, I feel like now the Greeks are battling back because you guys used to be known as, the wrestling, like the Greek gods, and then in the modern era, I don't know, man. It's not as many champions. What's happening? What's happening to the Greeks?
It's just it's the fact that man, every Greek from Greece has left. Look at me, bro. I'm in Australia. So it's like so many Greeks have left the country. The country can't support the athletes and stuff. So it's hard for them to produce someone, but slowly it all comes around. It's all a big cycle, and eventually they'll bring someone back.
And it's a pretty big question for you, but like, what is happening with Greece? I feel like it's not in like the greatest place it sort of once was. Do you know what's going on?
And it's an economy thing, you know. It's a political thing. There is no war, you know. Like we're really lucky. Like we've had wars in the past, but we're really lucky at the moment. There is no war, but it's all a political thing that's made Greece be like this, you know.
Mm.
So the people can't really do anything, you know. The politicians have to fix the country, and they're not, you know.
Yeah. Well,
But I can't really get in too much detail because I'm not that much. I don't have that much knowledge on it. But I know it's not a people problem. It's there's no work. The economy is not good, and that's the reason we left as well. You know, for a better future.
I mean, I was going to ask you about that as well. So you grew up like born in Greece, grew up in Greece, and like kind of what or what's the story?
So I grew up in Greece until 9 years old, and then my mother made myself, my brother, and my sister citizens. And just before 2012, we flew to Australia because my mother was lucky. Our grandparents, my mother, my mom's and my mom's mom and dad, they came here in the 60s, and they had their daughters here. They came here for work, you know, because at the time Australia was the place to be for work. A lot of Greeks came at that time. They made a lot of money, bought homes, businesses, and they set themselves up, you know.
Mm.
So that's what my grandfather did as well. And yeah, my mom had the citizenship. That's why we got the chance to become citizens here and live a life here in Australia.
Because how old are you? You're 21 now.
22.
What's it feel like? I mean, like you're so young, so already like accomplished in a chosen sport that you love, man. How's it feel?
Be honest, bro, after I turned 18, it's the same every year, you know? Like for me, I can't tell you. Like, look at George, man. He's young, you know. George is young. He's a hex champ, you know. Um, but I feel accomplished. I feel proud of myself that I jumped into MMA in the past 2.5 years, and I've reached so far, you know. Um, but other than that, life through all my years here, it just made me grow up a little bit faster than what I should have, or other kids my age. So it's all right, you know.
Why did it make you grow up
Oh
so
man,
fast?
you know, I started working when I was 14 to help out at home and stuff, because my mother was a single mother with 3 kids since we came to Australia, you know. So she was working 6 in the morning till 9 at night, 6 days a week, you know. So when I realized I can work, I jumped straight away to work, you know. I was trying to just pay for my things, you know. I didn't want her to have that stress, like pay for my school stuff, pay for my clothes, help in the rent. But she always used to pay it anyway: rent, electricity bills, water bills, gas. That's the Greek mom, you know. And yeah, man, since then, training and work. I left school in year 10 as well, so
What work did you find yourself into? Was it concreting? Because you're Greek.
nah. Nah, so my first job, I was just doing some construction labor first,
Mm.
and then we're building this rooftop bar. I was helping this build a rooftop bar on Burke Street in Melbourne.
Wow.
It was cool, you know, and he was paying me cash. 14 years old, I was making so much money, you know. And after that, I jumped and I worked with another guy, Tyler. I was doing tiling, bathroom renovations and stuff. And after that, I started an apprenticeship for plumbing, mechanical plumbing. And then later on, with the Corona situation,
Mm.
I had to drop out of the apprenticeship, and then I jumped into back to tiling. And then what did I do? And then I worked in a coffee shop.
Hey.
during the Corona stages and stuff. And then now I work in an NDIS company as a support worker
Ah,
for
geez.
the past 2 years. So it's been good. I've done lots of things.
No, that's cool. I mean, if you don't mind me asking, what happened with your father? What's the father situation?
We have some stuff, some properties in Greece, and he stayed back to look after them, But the years went by, and sometimes, if someone doesn't want to come, you realize after a while. But there's no beef. I don't hate him or anything, We still talk. Everything is cool, And maybe if my father was here, maybe things would have been like this, So everything happens for a reason.
So he's still in your life?
We talk, but I can say he doesn't have any influence in my life, Like he can say his opinion and stuff, but doesn't hold much weight, And not in a bad way, but as a man to man now, I'm 22, been working all these years, like on my own feet, in a way.
So gonna assume here that then you've lent quite heavily on the influence of your brother.
Look, so when I joined martial arts here in Australia, 2017, shortly after my brother left for the army, and I was left in the hands of my coach. So, and then when my brother wasn't here, Coach took care of me like good. And I'll be honest, man, without him and keeping me in the sport the whole time, all the years, till today, maybe things would have been the same, because he held me accountable and he made me love the sport, wrestling. Yeah, he really did. And he could see that I have a potential, and he trained me really hard, man. We always used to do extra sessions, everything, He paid for comps when we're going overseas, paid for my comps, accommodations, flights, always, always, always. Like till maybe the last trip that I went on in Thailand for Australia, it was the first time in like 7 years I paid for something, man. He's always found a way to pay for everything for me, So I'm really privileged and honored to have a man like that. He was like a father figure to me, And then when my brother came back from the Greek army, end of mid 2019, I'm pretty sure, he joined back, But it's good because is like he's like the leader, And then we're under and he guides us. Now he's older, but he still has the knowledge, a lot of knowledge, And he puts his time in, man. That's the thing. At the end of the day, he puts his time in, and he has great values as a role model for younger kids and even like fighters coming up, He'll teach you how to be tough, He'll teach you how to go through a brick wall with your hands.
And then put it back together because
yeah.
But well, mate, when it comes to like mixed martial arts, just in general, like what really made you sort of fall into the sport? Because I believe you did a little bit of wrestling before, but like, how did it all start? Were you an angry kid? Did you want to get tough? Like, what was it?
Man, to be honest, I wasn't an angry kid, but all the Greek kids, they have a little bit of not an anger issue, but they're all a bit cheeky,
Yeah.
But I always enjoyed like getting a bit physical, this, that, but not to like hurt anyone, To be honest, I liked wrestling. I liked training. When I joined wrestling, I just liked it, And as I was saying before with Amin, it was like I went 1 day, 2 days, and then 7 years later, I'm still going, So, but down the track, I met a lot of people that used to do MMA, like Joshua Trambula,
Yeah.
And at the time, he was fighting at Hex, and he had no training partners at one point at the old gym that we were at. So Coach Amin grabbed me and said, jump into the MMA. I was 15 years old. I couldn't throw punches, but I could just keep pushing. And I was getting punched, but
Mm.
try and take him down. Anything to do to preparing, you know. So I was always doing something towards MMA, but the last 2022 is when I started to focus more on it. And then August of 2022 is when I did my first amateur fight in Darwin, actually. That was.
Ah, really?
Yeah, in the jet ski, in the yacht club next to the beach.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a good place.
Yeah, it was next to the water, man. The water was 1 meter away of the ring.
That's crazy. Why? How'd you end up in Darwin fighting?
Prior, maybe a month before that, I was in Canberra for wrestling and Commonwealth qualifications and stuff. Anyway, long story short, I didn't manage to enter, and coach put me to go join the guys that were going to the Commonwealth Games in a Polish comp in Poland. Anyway, closer to the comp, I didn't want to go, and I messaged coach one night, coach Amin, hey man, hey coach, I don't want to go. I don't feel like I should be there. I don't deserve it. You know, I was doubting myself this time. He lost the plot. So he wasn't talking to me for like a week and a bit, you know. He was upset because he wanted me to go there, do it my best, and show them that I did deserve the spot, you know. But it didn't happen, you know. Anyway, maybe a week and a half before that Darwin fight, me and coach and another kid, we went to another gym the other side of Melbourne, and on the way there, I sat in the back seat. He didn't speak to me one bit, and the first thing he says to me, "Hey, in 2 weeks there's a fight in Darwin. Do you want to fight?" I was like, "Man, he's speaking to me. Yes, guys, put me in." I said, you know, and that was it, man. That was it. We booked flights. He booked flights, or they booked flights for me and him. My brother booked his own flight, and we flew out there. And that was it, man. That was the beginning. August 2022.
That's crazy, man. And in 2 short years, you know, you've gone undefeated, 8-0. Like, how does it feel to kind of just be so good at a sport? Like, obviously you work hard, but like to kind of to know that in a game full of tough people, like you're looking like you might be one of the toughest.
Man, I don't know. I enjoy it, man. Like I'll tell you this, you know. When I was younger, okay, like I'm talking now, 13, 12 years old, growing up with Nick, he was fighting, you know. Man, I remember going in there, I was watching, man, I was like, holy shit, you know, these guys are crazy, man, you know. And just seeing that as a young kid, I think that played a big role, you know. And then just as I was getting older and I kept training and training and training, the training is always brutal. You know, we don't know easy. There is some easy days, but we don't work on it. Like easy days don't work for us, you know. We always train hard, you know. So I don't know, bro. I think it's just the people around me and just how I saw the sport coming up, you know. I was just always involved and I always watched it and stuff, and I enjoy it, bro. I can't lie to you. I enjoy the toughness. I enjoy that battle, you know. Like for instance, when I know in my bracket for wrestling now, I know I have someone really good in the bracket. I'm looking forward to it. I'm shitting myself nervous, you know. My tummy is like doing 360s in there, but it's like, man, this is what I'm chasing. But when I'm seeing that the bracket might be not that good, it's an easier day, I'm still get nervous, but it doesn't excite me. It's the same with the fights, man, you know. When I was fighting in the amateurs and I knew I was fighting like some of the boys that had much better records than me, it was exciting me. I was training so hard, you know, because I'm like, man, this is it, you know. I'm the underdog. I gotta go in there and prove everybody wrong. You know?
Yeah,
but I think it's the training, bro. The training makes you tough and kills every doubt you have. So yeah.
yeah. it's pretty impressive because even if you look at your record, like the guys you've beat, like Jesse Ukic, Dylan Lahari, Jack Lipper, like these are really good guys. So it's not like you've just sort of built up this record where you've beaten sort of 4-4 guys. Like you've beaten like a lot of like undefeated guys on your way. Is there anyone in the amateurs that you didn't get to face that you wanted to?
I don't know, man. I think we always we never asked for an easy matchup, especially when I was fighting for the titles. And I think sometimes we didn't have them. People didn't want to fight me at one point. Okay, but then like for instance, Jesse fought me. He was good, and I think we always said yes to every fight. To be honest, you know. And when I fought Jesse, actually, like 3 weeks before I fight him, he fought Stephen Wong. And me and Stephen Wong had a crazy Bushido fight. So after my first fight in Darwin, I had the Stephen Wong fight. And because I won the Darwin fight very easy in the first round, I thought MMA was easy, you know. And then I first Stephen Wong, bro. I don't know how I survived, you know. Like I was so gassed. I had first time my crowd around, you know. And bro, that's when I realized what MMA is, you know. That's why I'm saying I work hard and I trained my ass off, you know. And then Stephen Wong fought Jesse, and Jesse managed to finish him in the first. You know, and we were booked to fight straight after that. I'm like, fuck. this guy is fucking he's good, you know.
Yeah.
But styles make matches, you know.
Yeah. No,
Like,
for sure.
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
trained hard, man, for that Jesse Yuki's fight. I think I trained probably the hardest I've trained.
He's very, very underrated. And Stephen Wong too doesn't get the credit he deserves. His Quillan Soukield's like #1 training partner, who we all know is in the UFC. So it's like he's a guy that is very, very good. He's been a pro for like 10 years. That's why it's so impressive. Is there's plenty of guys out there that are undefeated amateurs, and your name has kind of been thrown around for a long time, like ever since I've been around as someone to watch.
Yeah.
What in terms of your career, I mean, you've elevated quite quickly in amateurs. You've been very active. What do you want to do with your pro career? Now, I've always said with guys that when you become a pro, you become a business. So you've got to make decisions differently. Are you going to kind of go about it in a different way, or are you still just going to fight anyone?
Look, man, I'm gonna now it matters, you know. It's like my goal is not to stay in Melbourne fight, you know. My goal is to make it now, you know, because we have already established a good beginning, you know. It's my cat, man, in the back.
You're a cat man.
I have a cat, yes. I'm
You're
a cat man.
man. Oh, wow. Interesting.
Cat-
Thought you'd be a dog man. Strike me as a dog man.
Nah, I like both. But I can't have a dog because it needs more care than the cat.
Yeah, cats are a bit.
It needs the walk, it needs to go around, you know.
And cats make you tough. Like if you get beaten in wrestling and you come home, like cat doesn't care.
You're finished. Yeah, he doesn't care. You look at me, where's my food? So now with the professionals, it matters your record, you know. I always said if I ever lose in the amateurs, I'm gonna learn a lot, you know. It's an experience. So I was privileged not to lose, you know, but now in the professional, I'm not looking to lose at any point, you know. I'm gonna try and keep that zero there, you know. And the end goal is to make it the UFC, and the even further end goal is to be at the top, you know. Yeah, man. My next step is to each fight still, you know, whatever fights gets me closer and closer and closer, I'm gonna try and take that fight, you know. I believe I have a good team and we can make it all the way, you know. I've got good people around me and a good head coach, you know. So I think I'm on the right path for this whole journey, you know. aside from the business side, right now we're still making we don't make any money, you know. You know how the MMA is.
Yeah.
The money really comes when you do make it a bit later on, you know.
Yeah.
But I've never looked for the money and that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I've never looked to try and make money out of this, you know. I started off with wrestling, and if people that do wrestling here in Australia, they know that there's no money in wrestling, you know. Everyone, there's no belts, you know, so you do it for the love and the pride, you know. So
No, it's definitely, you're so early in your career as well. In terms of the fight, if people have never watched you before, what sort of style, what sort of action can they expect from you?
man, I'm a freestyle MMA fighter, so I go in, I just do my thing, you know. I'm more of a grappler, okay. I haven't striked much in any of my fights, you know. So 9 fights I did as an amateur, I had no damage anywhere done to my face, nothing. And then one pro fight, I came out scarred, bruised, you know. I I don't I don't use my striking as much as I should, you know. My teammates and coaches really get upset with me when I don't, but I focus more on my grappling and my fitness. I can't lie to you. I watch back my fights, and from 0 till the 5 minute mark, I'm just going forward and I don't stop, you know. And when the opportunity comes, I go for the finish. I don't want to say I can smell it, but I can see it, you know. Especially if it's on the ground, I can really get into the zone of going for the finish.
And mate, when you win or after a weigh-in, whatever it is, what's your go-to? Like, do you have like a big gyros when you finish? Like, what's your go-to food, mate?
Man, after the weigh-ins, we really like to go hard on like meat and stuff, you know. If it's Greek food or Turkish food, we like to go sometimes to Italian foods too. You know?
Oi!
Yeah, we like the pasta, but we like to eat meat, you know, just get the proteins good. And then usually my mom at home, she makes me this carbonara, so I can eat and go in a food coma at night and sleep good, you know.
Yeah,
Because you know, after the wins you feel good, you eat good, and then you start to, oh, tomorrow I'm fighting, you know. So just stuff yourself with food and go to sleep.
How's your mum go watching? Does she watch you fight, or does she like that you're fighting, or?
Look, I remember when my mom used to watch my brother, and my brother used to, back then my brother used to fight, and he was a good wrestler, but he would stand and bang as well, you
Yeah,
know.
he was. People don't know he was he was a fun guy to watch fight.
Yeah, he was crazy, you know. So after his fights, or even during the fights, he was sometimes black eyes, bruised, battered, you know. And my mom saw the worst back then, like his son getting hurt, you know. So now she watched me for 9 fights, and every time I came out and passed, she's cool. But back then she was really nervous, man. She used to get so nervous. She would go there with my auntie, and she couldn't look sometimes. But now she goes there, she has one drink, and she's in the front line getting the people to cheer, man. She's grown into it, you know.
Now she's like, Artemis, why are you such a girl? Why you shoot? Be like your brother. Put on war.
Yeah, fighting people, use your hands, you pussy.
Oh, mate, it is look, it's so great. It's great to sort of see you now kind of turn this into the career that we're going to see you get the hype and the deserve that you've kind of been building over the last couple of years. Before I let you go, mate, after it's all said and done, when this pro career is all wrapped up, how does Artemios Trepca want to be remembered in mixed martial arts?
Man, I want to be remembered how I am right now. You know, I want to be a humble guy from Melbourne that made it to the top. You know, I want to inspire young kids to keep training and just chase your dreams. You know, and at the end of the day, everyone can do everything. Okay, and if you put in your mind there and you put in the hard work, it will happen. It might take 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 years, but it'll happen. You know, you got to just keep poking and poking and poking, and you'll make it, man. No matter what you do in your life, anything you do, business, sport, or anything, you can make it. You know, and that's it, brother. I want to be remembered humble and inspiring guy, man. That's it.
Awesome, mate. I really appreciate the time, and I look forward to watching your fight on November 23rd, and I'll see you on the other side.
Thank you so much, my man.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.